I still can't believe its software never did more with her. A long time ago, Crash was Doom's instructor, the one who helped shape him into the one-man demon-slaying machine we all know. Now, she trains the rookies in the Arena Eternal. Most of the time, she's calm, collected, and hands out solid advice to new combatants. But push her too far, and you'll see exactly why she's not just a trainer. Now, here's something interesting. The Crash bot has the highest auto-response ratio of any bot in the game. Say something to her and she's almost guaranteed to fire back a line. She's the only bot designed to do this consistently, which gives the weird but cool feeling that she's actually talking to you. Not every word triggers a reply, but it's frequent enough to feel almost personal. Is it just random? Not really. The bot scripting is set up to react to action and certain keywords. It's not deep AI, but it's still fun and does the job of making you feel like you're playing with real people. As for her combat style, Crash has one priority: the shotgun. Just like Bones, Minx, and Sorlag, she always wants it. Even if she picks up other weapons, she sticks to the shotgun without switching. Close range, in your face, no nonsense.
Ranger, Phobos, Minx, or Sarge.
Ranger made the ultimate sacrifice for his world. Trained for one purpose, to protect Earth, he followed that duty without question. Sent through slipgate after slipgate, world after world, battle after battle, he fought and survived. Sometimes by luck, mostly by sheer skill. But all those wars came at a cost. Whatever he used to be, it's gone. Even his real name has been lost to time. Earth is safe now. He made sure of it, but there's no way back. No return. The Arena Eternal is his prison, his battlefield, his home. It's not what he wanted, but he accepts it. Survival is all he has left. And he's good at it. Ranger prefers the rocket launcher, but won't hesitate to use the plasma gun if it's in his hands. If there's a railgun on the map, he'll make a move for that too. He fights hard, talks harder. Expect insults mid-fight. And if he does say something nice about your aim, don't be fooled. It's probably an insult in disguise. One of the original combatants in the Arena Eternal, Captain Eldon Phobos Brock, is a hardened soldier, disciplined, courageous, and born to lead. He carries that officer and a gentleman air, a strong sense of duty, loyalty, and command. But his last mission taught him a brutal lesson in betrayal. He led the charge back to Mars, where Demon had once again bled into reality. His objective? Wipe out whatever was left. But things went sideways. His squad had different orders. He was betrayed by his superiors and left to die. Since then, he trusts nothing but his instincts and his training. Now, his mission is simple: survive. And in the Arena Eternal, survival means putting down anyone who crosses your path. Phobos is really interesting because if we go with the idea that Doom 3 was supposed to take place after the events of Doom 1 and 2, then the demon invasion he mentioned on Mars is probably the same one from Doom 3. That would mean the superior referenced are most likely Sergeant Kelly and, if we go by the original script, General Hayden, whose role was ultimately taken over by Kelly in the final version of the game. Phobos favors the rocket launcher but doesn't hesitate to grab a railgun if it's nearby. When he spots a haste pickup, he'll make a move for it every time. He's paranoid, sharp, and it shows in his mid-fight remarks. He's always on edge, always watching, always expecting someone to stab him in the back again. Smart, Dangerous, unpredictable, Minx is wrapped in mystery. Some remember her from her days on fashion runways, others from her time in adult films. But a select few know the truth. She was one of the world's deadliest assassins. No job was too messy, no target too well protected, and no payout too low. She looks like the kind of woman who'd kill you. And somehow you'll both probably enjoy it. Think Barbed Wire meets Trinity from The Matrix. Seductive, sharp, and lethal. No one touches her and lives, unless she lets them. A unique one, she has above average accuracy with nearly the entire arsenal, even at lower difficulty levels. But despite the precision, her reaction time remains slow. Minx generally focuses on restocking, grabbing every piece of armor available on the map, and avoiding direct firefights. Instead, she waits for the chaos to thin out and then moves in to finish off weakened players. Nothing, and I mean no fucking thing, in gaming history quite matches the sight of a full map filled with orbs. Bouncing, flipping, and spinning like one-eyed psychopaths on overdrive. Orb is one of the strangest things to ever step into the Arena Eternal. A giant eyeball mounted on humanoid arms, it was originally built by the Arena Masters to observe and record battles. A watcher, a witness. But at some point, Orb decided that wasn't enough. It picked up a weapon and never put it down. What goes on behind that glossy lens? No one knows. It doesn't talk much, just spits out odd, fragmented phrases like it's trying to remember how conversation works. But the trail of gibbet leaves behind, that's loud and clear. Orb doesn't care what weapon it uses, but it really likes the plasma gun. And if there's a quad damage on the map, Orb will stalk it like a predator. You'll often catch it lingering nearby, waiting, watching, then pouncing the moment it spawns. The second most disturbing thing about Orb is how it looks. The first, how good it is at killing you. Sarge has spent his entire adult life in combat. He's a master of modern warfare. There's not a weapon out there he hasn't used at least once. He doesn't complain. He doesn't question. He just gets the job done. Before the arena, he served as the Sergeant of Bitterman. During the Strogg invasion, he found himself surrounded, on the verge of sacrificing his life in a last stand to keep those cyber assholes from using his limbs or turning him into one of them. That's when the Arena Master stepped in and pulled him out, claiming him for the eternal fight. Now, in the Arena Eternal, Sarge is relentless, cold, efficient. If he gives you a compliment, even just a grunt of approval, you better hold on to it. It might be the only one you get before he drops you where you stand. He charges headfirst into battle, often ignoring his own safety. Retreat is rare. Compared to earlier opponents, he's a much better shot and much more aggressive. He favored the rocket launcher, but has a special affection for the shotgun since close combat means he can smell his opponent's fear. If there's a quad or a regeneration pickup on the map, he'll move to secure it immediately. And before we get to Tier 2, if you've ever wondered what Sarge would sound like, there were some voiceovers cut from the PlayStation version of Quake. The main characters you can play all have unused voice lines. They sound, I guess, interesting.
That was my favorite cigar back there. Now I'm angry. We'll make a soldier out of you yet, dirty, rotten, lousy sniper.
Accuracy. Frags. Tier 2. Skill. Bitterman. Grunt. Hossman. Damia. Hunter.
Let me introduce a character I still don't understand why they cut him from Quake 4. Seriously. They had him, they had his story, and for some reason they just gave it all to Kane instead. So, What happens to a war hero who gets horribly mutated while serving humanity? If that hero is Bitterman, he buries it. All of it. On Strogos, Bitterman unleashed something dark inside himself, a rage that tore through the Strog like a storm. There, it was justice. On Earth, it would have been horror. In the Arena Eternal, it's just called victory. He may have survived the Strog War, but he didn't leave it whole. While captive, they did things to him, changed him into something both more and less than human. Now, I'm not saying they had to replace Kane with Bitterman, but imagine if they had crossed paths during the transformation process. In the arena, Bitterman plays like a solid all-rounder. Not overly aggressive, not passive either. Shotgun's his favorite, and he always hunts for the quad. His voice still carries that southern drawl, and even with all the metal grafted to his body, there's still a trace of the old him. A soldier, a gentleman, a ghost of a war the rest of the world forgot. Those damn Strogs. They were the enemy, sure, but they didn't have to wipe out Grunt's entire fire team like that. Even that useless lieutenant didn't deserve to go out the way he did. Now, it's payback time. There's just one problem. Grunt can't tell friend from foe anymore. As far as he's concerned, everything is a target. If it moves, it dies. That's his new mission, and he follows it with ruthless focus. Despite his unfiltered rage, Grunt knows how to stay alive. He's one of the few who actively hunts for health pickups between kills. His weapon of choice is the railgun, which he uses with disturbing precision, though he's always happy to switch to a rocket launcher if needed. His communication style? Short, director. Usually right before or after he pulls the trigger. Grunt's not here to make friends, he's here to finish what the Strog started by burning everything else down with it. Hossman is a professional bodyguard, but not the kind you'd want watching your back if the money's better on the other side. He's ex-Army National Guard, a former private investigator, and a cold-blooded opportunist. Urban, clever, and mercenary to the core. Despite the cowboy chaps, Hossman's no country boy. He's confident in his abilities but never cocky enough to get careless. At a glance, he looks slow and clumsy. That's the trick. He's fast, agile, and sharper than he lets on. Years in protection work taught him that awareness is everything. Know your exits, read the room, and don't blink. He can keep a client alive, sure, but if the payout's better, he won't think twice about pulling the trigger on them instead. And I don't know about you, but if Quake 3 ever gets a movie, I want Danny Trejo to play him. Or Danny McBride. Yeah, depends if you want him to be a badass or an asshole. I'll let you decide which one's which. In combat, Hossman sits somewhere in the middle on the aggression scale. He's no maniac, but if you piss him off, expect him to remember it. He favors the lightning gun for precision and the rocket launcher when he wants to make a point. His trash talk is blunt and to the point. If he doesn't respect you, he'll let you know fast. And those tattoos? They're not just for show, that's the Strog insignia. He's either sending a message or keeping one close. The life of a bounty hunter isn't easy. Stick with it long enough and you end up seeing everything. Damia Maria Ruiz has hunted it all, anything that walks, talks, or crawls. If the price is right, she'll put it in the ground. She's tough, cynical, and carries a kind of reckless energy that never burns out. She's seen things that would shatter most people, but Damia just shrugs and pulls the trigger. Think Boba Fett meet Philip Marlowe, armor, attitude, and zero patience. At this point, she doesn't care who or what is in her sights. Human, alien, demon, it doesn't matter. An enemy is an enemy. Damia is a deadly marksman and almost impossible to pin down. She's fast, always moving, always airborne, and her agility makes her one of the hardest targets in the Arena Eternal. She favors the shotgun, rocket launcher, and grenade launcher. Classic tools with devastating results. I think there are two kinds of gamers in this world. Those who pick a character that reflects who they are, and those who are men of culture. Hunter is a Frazetta-style, barely armored warrior woman, wearing a headdress made from the skull or possibly the whole damn head of a sorg, adorned with ceremonial feathers. Despite the wild appearance, there's a regal calm to her. That's the leader in her, the royalty. A lifetime ago, she was someone important. But then, the Sorg clan came. When those lizard-head asshole invaded Tau Ceti, they tore through everything. Colonies leveled, people butchered, bodies harvested for the cyborgers' black market. Almost no one made it out. Hunter did. But she didn't just survive. She transformed. She gave up her name, her past, and any future she might have had to become one thing: a weapon. Her mission is simple. Wipe out the Sorg clan, every last one of them. Her obsession is so deep it's shattered her mind. She speaks in plural now, like she's more than one person or less than whole. Yeah. 1999. Character speaking with different pronouns kind of kills the whole "it is not inclusive" argument, doesn't it? Another interesting thing I discovered about Hunter is that she had some content cut in the Quake 3 PlayStation ports. She's not a playable character, but unused voice lines were recorded for her, which is interesting on its own considering none of the characters, including the one you play, ever actually use voice lines.
Come closer, that I might spit upon you. Did someone turn up the heat? My blood boils with anger. It is so cold, like the blood of a lizard.
Still, it's cool to hear her speak. She also had 4 unused skins that never made it into the game. Oh, and one last thing. I was surprised to see during my very scientific research that Hunter wasn't the character who was, well, I guess most appreciated as art. That trophy goes to none other than Crash. Thought it was interesting. For research purposes, of course.
Tier 3. Combat. Gore. Rack. Angel. Slash. Klesque.
Gore is another of the Visor Cloak replications. Like his countless brothers, he came into the world inside a vat of synthetic amniotic fluid and gained consciousness fully grown, fully trained, and fully convinced he's the best fighter alive. According to him, no one in the Arena Eternal can match his skill. And yet, he's in the 3rd tier. If Gore were even half as good as he thinks, he'd be mopping the floor with orb and barking orders at the top tier elite. But here he is, still talking. Make no mistake, Gore is no pushover. He's competent, aggressive, and definitely capable of giving you a rough match. Just don't let the non-stop bragging get to you. He lives to hear himself talk, especially when it's about his favorite subject: himself. In terms of playstyle, Gore doesn't lean heavily on any specific tactic. He doesn't camp too much, doesn't chase power-ups obsessively. He prefers the railgun and rocket launcher, but he's fine with whatever's on hand. What he really brings to the fight is an endless supply of self-praise and smug comparison between you and what he thinks he is. Rack is a fighter. That much he knows, the rest, not so clear. He remembers flashes, training, explosions, monsters, other arenas, better ones maybe, bigger rockets, louder chaos, and somewhere in that static is a memory. He was the master of the arenas. Once, back when things worked right. Now? He's not so sure. Shell shock and time have dulled whatever edge Rack once had. He's still dangerous, just not as sharp as he used to be. He jumps less than most 3rd-tier enemies and prefers the plasma gun over anything else. His speech drifts in and out of coherence, sometimes clear, sometimes lost in some past match no one else remembers. Maybe he was a legend once, maybe he's just broken. Either way, he's still standing. When cybernetics became the norm, it was only a matter of time before someone tried building the perfect companion. And, okay, she was supposed to be a fuck doll. Yeah, I mean, today it's no surprise, but when you read these descriptions years before, you don't necessarily click. Nobody remembers the name of Angel's creator, but sadly, Angel herself wasn't forgotten. She killed him before she was even finished. Sounds a bit different when I'm saying it. Meh. Fuck it. Her body's still missing parts, things like compassion, mercy, or any trace of empathy. She resents anything alive, but she hates cyborgs even more. To her, they're tainted, synthetic life ruined by flesh. She's fully convinced of her own superiority, and she'll make damn sure you don't forget it. It was her grandmother's music box. Its tiny ice skater twirled to Swan Lake. She loved it. She couldn't sleep without hearing his tune. Then she heard it in her dreams. Then always. She would become a skater herself. She would twirl and twirl until the music stopped. But it never stopped. She began to see dark, spidery things. When the clozapine didn't help, she turned to heroin. In the shooting gallery, she met Anarchy. He saw things too. Slash built her rep on the streets, running high-risk courier mission for the LA branch of the Yakuza. She wasn't just fast, she was unstoppable. Now outfitted with heavy cybernetics, she's more machine than flesh. Unlike other arena fighters, Slash moves on force skates that hover just above the ground. They make her taller, faster, and nearly impossible to pin down. She's insanely competitive and doesn't hesitate to show off. Challenge her, and you'll learn why they call her the Dragon Blade. Yeah, this one hurt. Klesque was confirmed to be one of the next characters planned for Quake Champions. But yeah, that's never going to happen now. In its chittering tongue, Yekikam to Nika Kleskikam to Pika what the fuck means people of one mind. Cretinids like Klesque were part of a hive mind, a shared consciousness full of endless psychic noise. But for Klesque, that connection is gone. The comforting buzz of the hive is silent. And in its place, new voices. They whisper promises. They tell Klesque that if it silences the mind cluttering the psychic plane, it will become the first of a new and powerful people. Not just a soldier, but a beginning. Klesque fights for peace, for clarity, and maybe even for the future of its kind. In combat, Klesque is ruthless when it has the upper hand, but not reckless. If the fight turns, it pulls back, waits for the next chance to strike. Its weapon of choice is the railgun, and it uses it with unsettling precision. The plasma gun is a close second. And its voice... Klesque may not be Zero, but is accurate enough to make you rethink every peak. It was also the first boss where locking down the railgun mattered.
Tier 4. Warrior. Lucy. Tank Jr. Biker. Patriot. Anarchy.